Hi, it's Megan. I got a couple things from the Burberry 2015 holiday collection. It's the first Burberry makeup I have ever had. And so this review is for the eyeshadow quad number 25 in gold, and it's on my eyes. And just so that you know, I also got this lipstick, which is festive gold, and I did a separate review for that. So why don't we look at the eyeshadow quad? And if I remember correctly, there was also a cream gold eyeshadow. There was powder, face powder, and then there was another lipstick, which is military red, which was in the special gold packaging, but is a regular collection item. So this eyeshadow palette is $60, 4.19 ounce. And according to Burberry, it is a 4-shade eye palette with luminizing base to highlight, 2 buildable colors to add shape, and an intense liner to define. And they say the 4-shade shadow palette allows you to effortlessly create multiple eye looks. Silky smooth, ultra blendable, and layerable textures enhance, highlight, and define the eyes. And they say it's inspired by the hues in Burberry's runway collection. There is a travel-friendly pouch and 3 brushes. And it has no parabens, sulfates, and it's free of fragrances. So what did I think? First of all, I like the pouch. I like, I like brushes being included. So this is like a liner brush. They're fine. They're not the best. They're not the worst. But if you end up traveling, taking this to the gym or something, it's nice to have them. A little sponge cushion. And then just an eyeshadow brush. I can't get this out. That's why I'm looking down. An eyeshadow brush. This. And then you get the festive packaging, the gold, with the Burberry pattern on it. And like I said, I had never ordered any of their makeup before. And so just quick overview of the formula. I think it's amazing. It really is gorgeous. This one is all shimmery, but if you go outside and you look at it in the sunlight, you can see tiny, 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 tiny micro bits of glitter with different shades in them. They're so small, it's actually hard to tell what the shades are. But when you apply it on the eyes, it just has this really beautiful sheen, which is very pretty, very subtle, kind of sophisticated actually. And it's super finely milled. It has a little mirror, which I'm not going to show on camera, and those are the shades. So these look really, I don't want to say boring, but they look really kind of like everyday. But they actually are everyday with like a wow factor. And that's one of the things I found with certain brands. Certain brands just get color. Formula seems easier, although some people mess it up really badly. But the colors that look gorgeous on the eyes are really what distinguishes certain brands from the others and kind of elevates them above. And I would say that about this palette. The formula is very finely milled. I don't need an eyeshadow primer to get it to apply beautifully, evenly, and last 8+ hours, although it lasts longer with an eyeshadow formula. Blends beautifully. It's one of those where you actually put it on and it's a subtle color. They're all subtle. But the color goes where you put it, and that's a pet peeve of mine with some shadows. You have to like pile it on, pile it on to get the color. These are definitely buildable, but you can also just like put it on with a brush and it's there and it looks pretty and perfect. So I really like that. So what are the shades? And of course I wrote it down somewhere and lost it, which I hate when I do that. So the first one right here, this is a taupe, and this is a, I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but this is exactly what I wrote. It is a gold taupe. So it's a warmer taupe that is almost a gold, but I can also see the taupe in it. It's a really great neutral shade, and it's one of the most difficult to describe shades I've seen. And I can see outside like little bits of pink almost in it, but yet it's like that neutral, not quite warm, not quite cool shade. So it's gonna work on a lot of people. The next one, they're so, as I'm like swatching them for this camera, I'm like, God, they're so finely milled, they're so creamy. The next one right here. So this one is, it has like a slight green undertone, but it also has a gold undertone to it. So it's like a pewtery green gold. And this one leans a little cooler toned. And outside I can see little bits of tiny shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. The next one is probably my favorite color. It's so gorgeous. And this right here is just a rich coppery gold. Watch how the color shifts in the light. I can kind of see it in the camera. And it's definitely what I would call a darker gold. It's a really great, just super pigmented, perfect gold that just doesn't have any of that brassiness that you sometimes get. It's warm and rich, and because it does have a little bit of almost a brown undertone to the copper with a little bit of pink in there, and it just looks, I don't know, browns tend to be really warm on the eye. It looks beautiful. And that, so I have the first shade, the second shade, the gold, and then I have a little bit of the gold under the eye, and look at how pretty it is just lining the inner part of the eye. Really gorgeous. And then my light just shifted outside. The last one is this brown, and this is like a rich chocolate brown, and I can see a little bit of a red or pink undertone to it. And again, it's got that little tiny subtle bit of sheen and shimmer, and outside I could almost see blue and purple, which you don't see at all inside, because, and even outside it's hard to discern the colors just because the micro glitter is so teeny. So I was super impressed. The colors are super flattering and beautiful. And I think they're going to work on a lot of complexions. They're just the kind of thing that works on the eye. Someone with a good eye for color, pick these. The formula is super creamy. It applies beautifully. It wears and blends amazingly. And it's going to work, as they say, in a lot of different looks. Any of these lighter shades can be used just on the lid alone. Especially if you're gonna do like a red or whatever for the holidays. And then the brown, you can see it lining under my eyes and into the crease. It's just a really great, warm, flattering brown that can be used as a liner, or this can be smoked up a lot more for an evening look with something like the gold lip color. So anyway, I am actually really happy with this palette. This is a really gorgeous one. I would love to hear thoughts, suggestions, or since this is my first Burberry eyeshadow, if you have thoughts, suggestions, or recommendations on other ones of the Burberry line, I would love to hear it. Please subscribe on YouTube because it helps me a lot. This is limited edition, so if you want it, gotta get it before it sells out. Thanks for watching and happy holidays.